Online discourse around hip-hop has been dominated in this last week by discussions of Rory and whether or not his old tweets were racist. Now, I made videos about this, a lot of great videos about this, but there's one other aspect that people have also been discussing. Not just are they anti-black, but are they anti-black woman, which are two separate things. This is what you call intersectionality, where two different forms of marginalization meet. That is really what is shown in those tweets. And I want to talk about something else. I don't really want to talk about whether or not somebody hated black women in the past. I want to do something more positive. You see, I'm a huge fan of two local artists. Well, I live in Western New York. I don't live in Buffalo, but they're local to me. Ché Noir and 7xvethegenius. Individually, they are two of the best rappers in the country. Together, they released an album called Desired Crowns last week. I actually hyped it up last month when I told you that I wasn't going to do a video about the Nicki and Cardi beef, right? That I wasn't going to do a Nicki Minaj and Cardi B beef video for the same reason that I think we really need to talk about this album by Ché Noir and 7xvethegenius, which is to say, let's not celebrate the marginalization and the insults towards black women. Instead of hating, let's love. And it's really hard not to love Ché Noir and 7xvethegenius, who do basically two things. They rap about why they are great, and they rap about their own lives, and they do it with skill and clarity and honestness and openness. But let's get back to this negative thing that we're talking about here. So the term, as coined by Moya Bailey, say her name, Moya Bailey, is misogynoir, which means the hatred of black women. But I really want to get into the etymology of this. Etymology is the science of words, and it's a thing that fascinates me. So, this is the word miso. It's what's called a word-forming element. Now, of course, it's a wonderful Japanese soup, but in this case, it refers to the Greek word for hatred. Gyne, like gynecologist, refers to women. Hatred of women, and then, of course, at the end, we have noir, which just means black. Now, it's not Greek, so, it doesn't fully work, but the term is catchy and it makes sense. So what is the opposite of that? Well, let's think about another word-forming element. Let's talk about philo, okay? Like philosophy is the love of knowledge, because Sophie is the word for knowledge, and philo is the word meaning loving. And this is why my least favorite word in the English language is philanthropist. Because you see, a misanthropist is someone who hates humanity. Therefore, a philanthropist should be someone who loves humanity. But we just saved the word philanthropist for people who have billions of dollars and who give away thousands. Most philanthropists actually hate humanity, but that's not the point of this video. I want to propose a new word. All right? Let me just put my microphone down here while I propose to you a new term. Instead of promoting, and perhaps even instead of focusing on misogynoir, let us all promote philogenoir. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue, I know, but let's talk about the love of black women. And I'm not the first person to come up with this term. I did come up with it on my own, but then I looked it up on the internet. There's a YouTuber with that name, although I don't know if she's active. There's apparently a Nigerian rap song with that title, but I could not find it. And when I say like love of black women, I don't mean like fetishizing. I don't mean like weird sort of race play adjacent stuff. I don't mean that. I mean just pretty simple. The same way that a philanthropist should be somebody who loves humanity, I think that we need to figure out a way how to celebrate loving the humanity of black women, which in our culture is very, very rare. Our culture has shown over and over again the combination of misogyny and anti-blackness tends to be very pronounced. And that's what makes these tweets from Rory so poisonous and so worthy of discussion. They cannot just be ignored. So that's what this video is. It's an effort to put forth some philogenoir about these two great artists. And it's like, if you really love hip hop, then you kind of know that black women have sort of been carrying the torch for a little while here. They've sort of been the best defenders of hip hop. I mean, really focused on the art, really focused on the deeper meanings. It's really been that way. And I've been on Ché Noir for 3 years now. Just trying. I mean, she releases so much. I don't review every single thing she does. But, she just has that amazing ability to emphasize her own humanity, which sounds like it's basic, but actually it's not. The humanity is the thing that is taken away when we make certain jokes, like the jokes that were made by Rory in 2012. The jokes that we accept, that people generally accept going back and forth. A lot of it breaks down to the fact that women in hip-hop, black women in hip-hop, all women in hip-hop, often are not really allowed to just be people. And this is one of the best texts on women in hip-hop, God Save the Queens. There's some good ones, but this is by Kathy Andoli. It's quite good. Where she talks about how there's like archetypes, certain ways that women are allowed to be. In particular, the Nubian princess or the sex kitten. That essentially Queen Latifah and Lil' Kim are the models, and all female rappers have to break into one of those different categories. Ché Noir and Love the Genius, both out of Buffalo, somehow managed to not fit into either of those categories. They're not preaching. They're not twerking. They're just being. And I say it basically every time I talk about Ché Noir, but listen, I don't get that many views on my Ché Noir videos, so there's a good chance you haven't seen my other ones. It is an amazingly political act when one is marginalized to just be in a space, to just take up space and to be yourself and not bend to what other people want you to be. It is a form of resistance which needs to be appreciated and loved. Some philo for it. And that's what Ché Noir and Love the Genius do. Now, I haven't even talked about Love the Genius. In general, I think I like Ché Noir more, but I think Love the Genius is a better MC, if that makes sense. But both of them are just so good that this whole album is just rapping about rap, rapping about life. And it's like they're not really in competition, but hip hop is a competitive art, right? So they are in some competition. And the thing that's been really nice about Ché Noir in particular is she just keeps getting better. She really does. She keeps honing her craft. And I think, surprisingly, she out-raps Love the Genius on this. And I don't think I would have thought that coming into this. But again, it's comparing 1 and 1A, right? These are just two really great rappers. I don't know if they're at the top of their game, but they are certainly as good as I've ever heard them, over excellent underground beats. There's not a lot of choruses. There's not a lot of sing-songy this. There's not a lot of that. It's just rap, 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 rap. What's my life like? How great of an MC am I? I don't know what else you want from rap music, but that's what I want. I want skill and truth, and that's what they deliver. So listen, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I can't have it be too long or else no one's going to watch it. So I'm going to really boil it down to 2 songs. First song I want to talk about is Not Me. Great beat by someone named Chup, the producer. Kind of a backwards beat and these ethereal voices in the back. And this is the perfect back and forth. If I had one problem with this album, I would like more back and forth between them because they're very clearly friends. They're very clearly collaborators. They very clearly work really well together. But, here it starts off with Love the Genius. I raised bar in hell. Vintage Coco Chanel. I'd rather be judged by 12. Tell them I'll never tell. Had to get it regardless. Ain't starving. They in the sound. Heart deeply departed. I wish them well. And then Ché Noir comes in. I don't wish them well. Because the way y'all rap, I wish you fell. I give them hell, start touching the bodies down, wishing wells. I don't get an F if none of my albums didn't sell. I stashed at least $60K in my safe in case the vision fail. Just this great back and forth, the ease, the joy. Listen, I'm not going to say that they're like Ghostface Killah and Raekwon the Chef, but they kind of are, I mean, their voices are super distinct in a similar way, and they very clearly are friends, and they're very clearly competing while at the same time being friends. Then, as if to go on to prove more of how great they are, how skilled they are, in addition to having the back and forth, they then just throw on an extra whole verse. We got Ché Noir's verse, so Shitting on these B words is something I master well. Open a barber shop in my spare time as it was needed to help. You hatin' uns with hairlines receding to see it and experience life for a reason. Like, and it's true. Ché Noir also opened up a beauty shop in Buffalo. She's just like, she's just showing like, hey, she makes money making rap music, and then she uses that music to invest in other stuff in case the rap stuff doesn't work out. Like this whole thing, like they're not financial responsibility rappers, but they are very financially responsible, and they talk about that. And again, it just goes back. What do you want in rap music? I want skill and truth. And if it's not true, then fine. Obviously, I love some rap music that's not based on truth, but you got to have a lot of skill to make up for that. So like that's just like a simple excellence rap song. And then we get to a song, Amina, which if the world were more just, would be the #1 song in the country. Strong pitched up sample, kind of a soft beat. Producer's name is Black Metaphor. Don't know them, but this is very good. And this is just the best example of what we're talking about here. That she's talking about her experience as a black woman, the kinds of life that she feels, the kind of choices that she has, the way that she navigates through life. Listen, I've mentioned before, and it might be somewhat clear to you, I am indeed very white and very much a man, you know? So, like, this is not my lived experience. I am a tourist in the world of hip-hop. I am a guest. Thank you. Thank you to those of you in hip-hop who have allowed me to come in here and compliment what a nice house it is. But like, I will remove my shoes, even if you don't ask me to. I always remove my shoes wherever I go, except at my dad's house. He used to let his dog just pee and poop everywhere, so you had to keep your shoes on in my dad's house. But that's a whole nother story. So like, I don't know the life that she's describing, but this is the value that music brings you. This is the values that it produces empathy. It produces compassion. I'm able to hear this story, and compassion, going back to etymology, come means with, passion means suffer, to suffer with her. As I say, whenever anyone will listen to me, compassion is the only religious value in any religion that has any meaning or value whatsoever. That's it. Compassion and nothing. And the way that she describes her life and what she's overcome, it's not poor me rapping, it's not respectability politics, it's none of that. It's just, this is my life. A flower dies from, and by the way, this is not on Lyric Genius, so this is just my best transcription of it. A flower dies from improper care, can never bloom and quit. To understand the reason, you got to address the root of it. A flawed system that failed, no positive male figures for me. The shit has been hell. All the examples I had was thugs in jail. I hated asking for help when it felt like I should have did it myself. So she's talking about the way that she had to work so hard, the way that she felt she didn't have this voice, these forces helping her, and that she always felt like she had to do it herself. I saw my mother cry because of my dad when I was a teen, so by accident I became attracted to what I seen. It's not accident, by the way. This is just the way the world works. Hey, why do 50% of marriages end in divorce? Because most people just marry somebody who represents the parent that was the most painful to them. That's just the way it works. You end up marrying someone you think you can fix them. Ché Noir is describing her life, her experience, but this is a very, very human experience. Saw my mother cry because of my dad when I was a teen, so by accident I became attracted to what I seen. But of course that shit ain't live long. My independence came from men I had in my life I couldn't depend on. How, Ché? How, Ché? How are you going to make that lyric work and sound good? I don't even know how do you possibly make that wordy ass sentence into a smooth lyric? I don't know, but she does it. My independence came from men I had in my life I couldn't depend on. So like her strength came from the fact that she could not depend on men. That's the source of her strength, which makes sense when she's mad, when she can't do things by herself. She's describing this system failure Okay, that's the way she starts it. A flawed system that failed, right? The lack of black men in certain spaces in America is largely a failure of our system, our criminal justice system in particular, our racist and targeted war on drugs. That's why these things happen. It's not a question of personal failure. It is a question of systemic and systematic failure of the American government and the American people to care for its own people. That's why it's that way. Don't you dare come at me with no Hannity mess. That's what it is. So she's able to recognize that. And when she observes the social and the political, she makes it personal. So that when I, Mr. Professor guy who reads papers and studies and the demographics of this and that, here's a human being telling me what it was like. They said I couldn't keep a man because I work too much. I said, no, he can't keep me because he ain't worth enough. And this isn't about money. This isn't the transactional love that is described in a lot of music made by the sex kitten, right? It's that not meaningful enough, not substantive enough. When I was in therapy, I've been in therapy for a long time, but it's been a while. I have not been in therapy for like 5 years, but like I was in therapy for 10. And I was talking about like, what am I looking for in women and everything. And things weren't working with just these different women who I was dating. And he finally just said that I needed a woman of substance, which is like a pretty nice thing to say, but it's true. like my wife is my now wife, very substantial woman, you know? Like that's what I'm attracted to. And what she's saying is these men were not men of substance. That's why they don't have enough. Finally found a king that add value. That's why he earned my love. But because of my past, I had to learn to trust. So just right there, she describes her human experience, the way that she feels vulnerable, the way that she feels that she has to work so hard, the reason that she feels she can't depend on anyone, the reason why she wasn't happy with other people because she was looking for the wrong men. And then when they found her, when she found them, they didn't give enough value to her life. They were not substantial enough. And now she's found it. But now even that she's found it, she has trouble trusting because of that whole thing that meant earlier on in the verse. So listen. I don't know what it is that you are looking for in art. I don't know. Whoever you are watching, I don't know what you're looking for. I think art, when it's at its best, can communicate human truths. Sometimes I like it when it communicates human truths that I understand. Whatever. When I listen to Radiohead, I feel like this is exactly the kind of effete intellectual alienation that I feel. Awesome. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it can express human truths that lie outside of your human experience. And that's what this is. God damn it. Do you see how good it is? And then Love the Genius, raised by women who didn't have men to split with. So some shit that life hit me with, I was unequipped. I'm here for you, but I'm first here for me. She's talking the same basic thing about the way that this lack of men in her life has made it that it's hard for her to trust men. As she says, the wall I built is detailed and got some crown molding. You know, sometimes I talk about like, people talk about, this is grown man rap. This is some grown women rap. This is a crown molding. That's a very specific, that's someone who's had to go to Home Depot to fix up their new apartment. Or Buffalo, probably house. Beautiful. So those are the two songs I'm picking to select. I'm going to go through the rest of the album. I'm going to try and do it in like 2 minutes just to make sure people watch it. Trapped in Silicone is an intro. Topanga, Sultry Soul sample. I worked 10,000 hours for 15 minutes of fame. More you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Ladies and gentlemen, Ché Noir, 1990, all of that. Funny verse about Topanga and Boy Meets World. Sum of Two Evils is Conductor. It's a Conductor beat, but that's the thing. It's not even the best beat on the album. Still, it's warbled and awesome. Still, it's great. This is going to bring people to it because here's the thing. You know, Ransom's awesome. Rome Streets is awesome. The Boldy James is awesome. And Freddie Gibbs is awesome. They're all awesome. But they're not like better than Ché Noir and Love the Genius. You know, just this is the crop of rappers that we have here. What a crop. We have a pretty great crop of rappers here. Then we get to Amina, the song I already discussed. Flight featuring Reason, killer drum beat. I really enjoy Reason on here. It was weird having a male voice. Another interlude, then Conquer, self-produced, because Ché Noir is also a great producer. A little bit of sung chorus. That was the thing, like that song Amina has like not quite a sung chorus, but a repeated chorus, which is pretty rare on the album, and it's really nice. This one has it as well. We make the wave because we follow the moon. For biological reasons, women tend to be much more connected to the moon because the moon is monthly and, menstruation is monthly. And some people treat that as like just pure science, just, oh, there's a coincidence. And other people treat it as more spiritual. So there you go. Town Ballroom. God damn, what a great... This is a very DJ Premier beat made by someone named Crisis with a K. But it's mixing up Prodigy from Mobb Deep, Might Crack a Smile, Ain't a Damn Thing Funny. Going back to the same basic idea, did you know that women, this is true, by the way. Listen, hey men, are you watching Men? This is just for men. Like the beard dyeing product I have almost bought many times. I don't like gray beards. It means I'm going to die, but my wife likes it, so what am I going to do? This is just for men. Women who don't smile all the time are approached by strangers and told to smile. Ask a woman in your life. She'll say, oh, yeah, that happens. My wife, she was at Home Depot, okay? She's at Home Depot. She fixes up the house. I don't fix up the house. I don't know how to do gardening. I don't know how to fix up a house. I hold a hammer the wrong way. I try to hammer nails with the wood side, okay? That's how bad I am. So my wife, she's like, give me Home Depot. There's like a theme song for her. And yeah, someone just walks up and says, you ought to smile more. Could you fucking imagine how angry that would make you? Anyway, so I feel like it's kind of tied into that. You got to study hard just to finish second place. And Ché Noir talks about having like salmon with a cream sauce on top of lettuce. And she's talking about the top 10 list. The top 10 list looks like they're just guessing names. Man, Ché Noir. Seriously, she's getting a lot, like, she's always had this like charisma, this sort of like that humanity. But her earlier work, sometimes the lines that I was saying earlier, that like, how does she make it smooth? She was not always as successful at making it smooth. Whereas I feel like she's kind of cracked the code, which makes me think that she's only getting better. Love the Genius makes references to making six figures last year. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Do we need millionaires? Is it not enough that some woman from Buffalo, New York, whose expected earnings in her lifetime, based on her demographic, are criminally low? I mean, like, result of centuries of systemic and systematic oppression, that she's not bragging about making $1 million. She's not bragging about having a jet. She's bragging about making six figures last year. I didn't make six figures last year. And everything in the world was set up for me to be a rich bastard, It's beautiful. It's just I don't know what you want from music. If you don't want this, I don't know what you want. Breaker, backwards sound, very cool instrumental. It's basically the last song. Hard to embrace love because I don't think I deserve it. She's just telling the truth. She's not smiling. And what she's telling you is, why is she not smiling? She's not smiling because she didn't feel she had the support as a youth, because she was drawn to untrustworthy men, because she feels like she doesn't earn the love, because she feels like she has to do it all herself. Like, part of this whole hopeful movement of philology noir is like understanding that the things that we don't get about other people's lived experiences might just be a cultural misunderstanding. Like, the way that people present themselves to us is probably not about us. It's probably about their life experience. And when you listen to music like this, you can help to understand that. And then we get to the alternate version of Black Girl, a song from before that had Rhapsody on it. It now has Love the Genius. I love Rhapsody, but I think I like this version more. Self-produced. Black Girl, beautiful, almost like Wu-Tang beat here. Just awesome. Just the perfect example of these two rappers just rapping at the absolute Two of the best rappers alive rapping over one of the best beats of the year. Just awesome. So there you go. I'll keep it under 25 minutes. What do you think? What's your favorite song? What do you think of this concept of Ché Noir? And there's the camera.